Yes, hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not gonna happen this video, but that's alright. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, welcome in. We do hope that you like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. And while subscribing to me, please subscribe to Mrs. Best. Any recaps or reviews I don't cover on my channel, it's because we cover on her channel more than likely. We have both Love and Hip Hop Miami and Atlanta. We are finishing up Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a third part reunion to replace it with Bravo's The Valley. We also have Real Housewives of Miami that is going to be on Mrs. Best channel as well. So if you guys love that franchise, I also enjoy it. We'll be recapping it on Mrs. Best channel. So make sure you subscribe. And then also, let's go ahead and subscribe to Shayna's channel as well. Shayna underscore MCD is another YouTuber here on YouTube. She was one of the first to ever embrace me, and we want to make sure that her current channel and her new channel get monetized, y'all. We are here to support her as she has supported me and also Mrs. Best as we continue our journey here. We love you, Shayna. We hope it's all going for your glory now because you deserve it. And Dr. Jim Bunny is in the room, y'all. This is also one of my good girlfriends here. Yes, I am so happy she is here. We missed you. Thank you so much for being here. So, y'all, Real Housewives of Atlanta is just not the same. It's not the same. I'm not excited. One, this episode was way too long. Two, there was way too many scenes. And three, this drama is so crazy. Literally, y'all weren't kidding when y'all told me it was gonna be crazy. It is crazy. So it actually opens up with the fourth wall, asking everybody how they're feeling after Kenya exposed what she exposed. Everybody is like, I am shocked. This is like beyond what we thought Kenya would do. Cynthia said, I thought Kenya was better than this. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. I I'm not mad at Kenya per se. I'm not mad at Kenya per se because when you start something with somebody, there is no rules in fighting. So to me, that should have been a fair retaliation. What I hated Kenya did was go that to that extreme and at an event that was business. And as I said this in my last recap, I hate that she took it to her business versus just inviting the ladies out to dinner and then potentially exposing, maybe not exposing the rated X billboard, but maybe exposing the surgeries and stuff. I probably wouldn't mind that too much because all of these women, 9 out of 10, have had surgery. I think the only person in this cast that has not had any type of plastic surgery done to their body is maybe Shamia and maybe Drew. But everybody else, I'm sure, has had something done. So I'm not too mad at the whole plastic surgery thing if that's what Kenya wanted to expose. I'm just mad that she did the rated X thing. I think that went too far. So, how did you feel about the fourth wall asking the ladies how they felt about the whole Kenya situation?
I wish Shamia move on. Like it's nothing that they can't get past. Like especially the X-rated photo was too much because it sounds like it was something that was filmed between Britt and a boyfriend back in high school. However, I get a feeling she may have been 18 of legal age. Doesn't make it no better. I think that's a bit much to share at an event that's for business. But I'm just kind of like, okay, so y'all still trying to make the episode about Kenya without actually filming Kenya. That should have told Bravo right there that you do not have a ensemble cast. You do not have a cast that can carry the show on their own. Because this whole episode we were talking about a person who they just told us in the previous episode that they ceasing to film with. So I'm over it. Brit's gonna milk it. I think a lot of them are gonna side with whatever the public feels for the most part. And then there's like the select few that, have their own thought process. But I did not care for this.
I agree. So, speaking of Brit, we joined her at her house. She is on the couch just sobbing. She got the little puppy. Her husband walks into the room. and she shows him what's been going on. I'm assuming what the blogs are saying. And she goes, I'm just humiliated. Like, you understand? Like, she has ruined everything. Like, I have my clients calling me, asking me about this. I have my family calling me, asking me about this. Friends, everybody is calling me. And I don't know what to do. I'm just so sad about this because she has really went low. Like, that's stuff I'm trying to forget about. Hey, JJ, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And the husband said, and it's supposed to be at a business for her daughter, right? She dedicating it to her daughter, right? Yeah, she's getting dedicated to her daughter. And I just don't understand. Like, I bought $250 in flowers just to give them to her, and I couldn't stay at the whole event because of her energy. And I'm looking at her like, okay, okay, Britt,
The
fine.
moment somebody points out the dollar amount of a gesture versus just the gesture, you got to watch them. The fact that your alleged porn was just exposed and you thought to yourself to mention how much them roses cost when y'all are supposed to be so rich. Like, I'm not saying she wasn't embarrassed. What happened was embarrassing. I'm saying that this girl is definitely good at gaslighting, manipulating, and spinning things in her favor. Because the last thing I'm worried about is how much I spent on some funky ass roses after my mouth was on somebody else's, you know what, and it got made public at a party that I'm new to. Like, I cannot, I just cannot, I
But
cannot,
speaking of
James.
clients, Britt said that she could lose her license over this and everything, and she just starts crying because she said everything she has worked hard for is just going down the drain because of whole this thing. And we all trying to figure out why this man's face is always scrunched up when it comes to her. I don't think he likes her.
I told you that. I clocked that episode one.
I don't think he likes her. I really don't. And she's not likable, so I can understand. So he goes and hugs her, give her this halfway hug instead of, kind of grabbing her and pulling him towards him while they were sitting there. He gets up and just give her a little pitter patter church hug. And as they're going up there, Brisket says she paid 350. So Kelly shows up, and Kelly had went to Kroger. And she said, I got y'all some pasta salad. I got y'all some ambrosia salad. I got some chicken. We gonna eat. And then I got another surprise for you. And it's a lady with an IV, a nurse. I've done this mobile IV. I love doing it. It's something I can't afford to do all the time, but I definitely gonna get my little IV treatments. But they're talking, and Kelly just wants to make sure she, is checking on Britt, make sure she is good. Kelly is the kind of friend that I am, and I love friends like Kelly. I do because you can always count on them. Kelly is going to show up for you no matter how the circumstance is. She's going to show up. So we can appreciate Kelly for this. And she's also reiterating, Britt is reiterating what she just told her husband. And, Kelly just like, just stand strong. We'll get these IVs. And that was it. It was a whatever scene because, I really don't care for Britt that well. And I love Kelly, but I want Kelly to scale it back some, just a little bit. How'd you feel about Kelly joining the scene and all that?
It was okay. I mean, I'm pretty much the same as you. By the way, I am sick. So if anyone struggles to hear my voice, I'm sorry. I thought I'd be better, but now I'm not. But yeah, I didn't really care for it. Britt, your license is to sell insurance is not at risk just because you got caught doing porn. Yes, there is something called a good character requirement in insurance, but I promise y'all, her license is not at risk for this situation. Uh, I promise y'all, I still have a license in auto and life insurance. They are different licenses. It's not just the same type of license, but for the most part, all of them are similar. And I highly doubt that that is happening. And as the comments are saying, girl, what clients you got? Didn't you just say in a previous episode when talking about the beef that you have with your sister? Because it seems like wherever she goes, she can't get along with people. But didn't she just say that she sold her insurance company? Now suddenly you have clients at risk. What kind of clients? What do you do? What services provided?
I
See,
feel
she's
like she didn't explain that right.
no, because she lies. Let me tell you something. When people tell a lie, You got to keep up with the next lie. That's what I was taught growing up. Everybody lies. It's human nature. Everybody tells
Right.
little white lies.
No, I
But
get it.
she is telling legitimate lies about what she does for a living, where she came from. The other thing is, the only thing I would feel sorry for her for would be the, private video that she made with the boyfriend that was shared. That I understand her crying over. The rest of that shit, my good sis, you was hustling, you was making it. We got strippers, former pimps and madams, and people who was 304s and prostitutes that done changed their life and notably became famous, not just across this franchise. Hell, Nene says she was a stripper before. So I don't think nobody would have freaked out about the webcam or any of the stuff that she did. So I feel like this girl is milking it. Kelly's a good friend, but it's not appreciated by a person like Britt.
I agree. Agree 100%. So we move on. What'd you say, Dr. Jen? She had to do some criminal activities to have her license revoked. Prime example, fraud or embezzlement. Yeah, I don't think some
Everybody has a
X-rated
past.
video. Yeah, I don't think X-rated videos would really like. It may like your clients may look at you a certain kind of way because some people have moral stability, but as more as that goes, like, girl, we can
If
pay a
she is
bill.
selling auto or life or even home insurance, people don't give a damn about whether you was in front of a camera performing porn. They want to know that if a natural disaster happens, that y'all gonna move quick and actually cover them. That's all people care about. She act like she got the type of business that like like working with people like as if she's working directly with people. Girl, you sell them the policy, they make their payment and you keep it moving. They don't care.
Right. It is $250. I'm sorry. If I said 350, I'm so sorry. It was $250. Not that that matters, but it just yes. But don't forget, one of the posters has something to do with insurance fraud. Did it?
So what? She shouldn't have done it. If that's the case, I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is too. But yeah, if that's the case, yeah, she shouldn't have did it. Like that's probably why her license is getting revoked. If wasn't already, to me, I felt like the license was already revoked. This is my
They're
honest
not just
opinion.
gonna watch
I
like the
just feel
people
like
who
it was
audit.
already in jeopardy before this whole Kenya situation. And I feel like maybe Kenya's situation probably ignited for the state board or whatever it
I
is.
think she's using it as a shield because she was very clear to make us know that her potential license was at stake. You just said, lady, that you sold your company. Now you claiming to have clients that we don't know. We don't know what you do for them. We don't see them. She probably is using the situation. It was probably in her mind perfect timing, and she's going to use it to make it look like something else. But they're not going to take or even investigate your insurance license unless there's been alleged fraud. They're not just going to come looking for it.
Yeah, but it could have been something that was brought to the light that she tried to keep hidden. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't really care. But we're gonna move on from Brittany, y'all. We'll come back to her in a minute. We go over to Sterling Hall, which is Shamia's home. I just love the fact that her home has a name. I think that is so it's like dope. We go into her house. She has Portia, Kelly, Angela, and Drew. Drew shows up late. That's why I forgot Drew was even in the scene. But they're all pretty much talking, and when Drew comes in there, because they talk about the whole King and Brit thing, I'm over this already. But they talk to Drew. Drew comes in. They ask Drew why she late, and Drew says she's preparing for court or whatever because her and Ralph are still going through this divorce and everything. And Angela was like, "Well, yeah, divorce is tough." And Portia, are you getting all the support in your divorce and everything? Portia said, you know, I didn't think I would be in this with Simon. And, I just worry because we have a family at the end of the day. And, the other night, Pilar came into my bed and she says, "Where's Simon?" She called him Paw Paw. She said, "Where is Simon?" And I told her, "Oh, he had work. He had to work." And she was like, "Oh, okay. How long he gonna be gone for?" And she said, "For a while, for a while." And it just broke me because, I had text him, that Pilar is asking, and he has his text messages on the receipts on read, and he just read it and didn't respond. And here comes Shamia hugging her from the back, and I'm just looking at Portia like, Okay, Portia. Look, she may have bonded with his children.
A bitch
She may have
staying in
bonded.
this comment is everything because it pretty much wraps it up.
Yes, yes, exactly. And this comment too. This comment too. I'm not saying that Pilar does not need to be attached to Simon because he was in her life and was her stepfather for however many months and years Portia has been with this man. But from what I'm saying with Portia is this: you're making it seem like y'all had children together, y'all had this glorious life that was longer than the 3 years y'all been together. And that's what bothers me about her, how she's able to milk this whole situation as if it didn't start out wrong from the beginning, as if he wasn't still married to a whole nother lady when y'all first started dating. So I didn't like that either. I didn't like, because to me it just felt like she just thrusted this man into the situation, not being truly over Dennis. Because if y'all watched her little show and how she used to fight with him on that show, that let me know she still ain't over him because all the little shit he did, and it was just kind of like, and I still don't think she's over. I think that's why this shit with Drew bothers her. I do. I feel like the reason why she has such an issue with Drew is because Drew fit the mold of what he probably would go after if it's not Portia. So yeah. But all this crying, and then Shamia, I want you to stop doing this. I want you to stop doing this because Portia played in your face way too much. Didn't last episode Portia tried to shade you about your song? So why? I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird like that. But I would, after that song situation, I would be side eyeing Portia the entire time. I wouldn't be giving her no. I'd be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." My words would have to reach you. That's how I will work going forward. Mrs. Best, how'd you feel about that Portia explanation?
Pretty much the same. Like, you're not gonna. It's one thing to be acting the way Portia does, not really being a good friend to Shamia, but then like to directly take something that she made and then try to attach it to someone else's name. Oh, I thought that was Drew. Why can't, if your friend just told you it was her, why would you even do that? So I would feel the same way about Portia. I don't feel sorry for her fucking tears. I don't care. I really don't. I have a little, listen, I have way less patience in general, not feeling well. But I was watching Portia and I was like, you like to cry and make it seem like you saying a lot because she drags on her sentences and things, but she said a whole bunch of nothing and a bunch of shit we already knew before. And I'm glad that y'all in the chat and James yourself as well are holding her accountable. That's a flaw in her parenting. Ain't no way that your daughter should have been up in Simon's face so soon. The baby should be asking for her actual dad. And Portia's trying to like manipulate the audience and buy opinion to make it seem as though her family is broken. But like a bitch they went and said, she came into it with her family, he came into it with his family. That is an old ass man. He could be PJ's grandpa, her great grandpa. And I'm not saying that to be funny, but I mean, he didn't adopt her. The obligation's not there for him to talk to her. And why would he even feel comfortable talking to her while he's dragging her mom in the tabloids at the time that this was filmed? So I don't care about Portia's tears. I feel like they kind of took away from Drew's moment to talk about her stuff as well. Because the moment Portia spoke, because everyone wants to know about it, they just forgot all about Drew and her problems. I didn't like that. So I'm just like, girl, bye. I don't feel sorry for this lady.
I didn't like it either. I'm gonna shout out Kevin Reynolds. Hey, how you doing? I missed you, man. Thank you for being here. Hi, Shana. Thank you for being here as well. We appreciate it. Portia got to be one of the biggest haters I have ever seen. I'm trying to tell you, and it's not landing. Like, you know how most people try to disguise their hate? Portia is just letting it be known. She just straight up hate. But it is, yeah, we're gonna get into more of that. But Drew says in her confession, that she definitely feels for Portia and can relate to her more than Portia thinks she can, because overall she can't be there for Portia in a way because Portia is holding this beef with her over Dennis. And it's like, Drew, I want you to wake up and see, because I feel like you already know what this is, but you just trying to play stupid for the cameras. And I get it. You trying to get your check. I totally get it. But I feel like, Drew, you know what you're doing. You know that shit is gonna bother her. Because I guess it bothers a lot of women with their baby daddies, and I'll never understand it. I'm just gonna say it like that. I will never understand it, but I just feel like, Drew, put it to the side and just be like, "Can I be here for you if you really care that much?" Because me, I would just look at her and eat my food, but that's just me. But that was pretty much the scene that happened at Shamia's house. Is there anything else you want to add, Mrs. Best, before I move on?
No, this dry ass episode.
Right, they just cut up a whole. There's at least 15 scenes in this one episode. I'm telling you, she shouldn't have never had her daughter sitting in that stranger's lap. They weren't together long enough for her to act like they were a family. No, they weren't. But Portia was looking at that money or lack thereof, and looking at that lifestyle or lack thereof, and thinking, "Oh my God, I finally got just as good as Shamia got it." That's exactly her mindset. Y'all can't tell me different.
Portia is mirroring exactly what she saw her mama do growing up. And for
Hmm.
those who don't know, just Google her mama and look at the crowds that she used to be a part of back in the day. It's kind of sad because she did. You made a good point. She did kind of put her baby safety to the side for the love of money. And in my experience, I don't have kids, but I feel like your kids should matter more than the dollar. I know you got to provide for them, but she's trying to keep up with the lifestyle. Her child has everything that she needs. Portia's just too much. I've been said it. I said she wouldn't do well coming back, and she's not doing well being back.
Oh, it is my pleasure to do so. I'm going to try my hardest to keep this entertaining for y'all. I really am. Because it really is not entertaining. It's really silly, honestly. It really is. And I agree with what you just said. So we're gonna move on. We have a scene with Kelly and her oldest daughter. I forgot that baby's name. But I did. I forgot that baby's name. I did. I am so sorry, y'all. We have a scene with her and her daughter, and Kelly's name is coming up in the blogs with her husband. She let us know that the youngest three daughters that are by him, because the oldest one is not by him, basically saying he wants to be a family man. And she said that is far from the truth. And the oldest daughter said, "Yeah, he even cut me off. He's not even speaking to me or wants to get custody of me." And that's when Kelly let us know, which she did in the first episode as well. But she let us know that, that's not her biological father, but she would hate that their relationship would be strained because of what they're going through, because he's been in her life since she was 2 years old and has raised her to be his own. So for him to now kind of discard her, which a lot of men do this, and I hate that. That's why I'm hoping Ralph does not do this with that oldest one in the next thing we'll talk about. Because to me, I feel like if you were there from the beginning, be there to the end. Don't just cut it out because you were angry with their mother. If you was there from the beginning, you need to be there to the end too, because you chose to step up. So you need to step up in all things. Don't just cut it off just because that's not biologically that your child or biologically your child. Oh, I'm slipping up on words, y'all. Sorry. That thing makes me mad because I hate when men do that. I swear I hate when men do it. Like seriously, what are y'all talking about in this chat? Only bothers Portia because she ain't over Dennis. We all know Portia ain't over no Dennis. I really think you think Portia's over Dennis of this happening. You really think so? Oh, yes, but the daughter also says that she doesn't want to get married because of what Kelly is going through. And Kelly hates that because she wants her daughter to fall in love and she wants her daughter to get married. She doesn't want to be that example of why her daughter doesn't get married. And I said, Kelly, this is where you need to be very specific and you need to tell your daughter exactly what you're going through. So she has a clear understanding, because even though you would like her to get married, and I feel like when people say that they end up getting married, but they need to understand what they went through in their household. Because if you don't give clear direction, those kids end up running into the exact same thing that you're trying to get them to run from when they don't have a clear picture. And I don't think that Kelly's a mom that would shield her kids from that. I mean, the youngest three maybe, but that oldest one, I'm sure she's seen some things and has really had conversations. But she needs to make sure she's clear. Hi, April Morgan. Thank you for being here, Portia, or her big white mouth. She won't show she came in through man, and a man is someone without even ever to be on the show. Yeah, I can see that too. Yep. Yeah, I think she is over Dennis. She just sees that someone else is interested and she has fear of missing out. Maybe, maybe.
Oh, you if you're over someone, FOMO is not possible.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, because I'm trying to think, like,
Portia, I think what it is, here's the thing. I don't think she wants Dennis. I don't think she wants him. Because if she wanted him, she could have him. Let's keep that real. But I think the reason she doesn't want him is because she has such a bigger fear of being cheated on again.
yes,
She cares a great deal about how she looks. She, ugh, I have nothing good to say
this is for
about her.
you, Mrs. Best.
Oh, thank you. I've hanging in there. I'm so sorry.
I love how she moms as well, but I really
No, this is a problem in the black community. What I saw is a 17-year-old girl that's been parentified by her parent in situations that she should not have been parentified in. Now, yes, you should have discussions with your children, but the fact that this girl understands the ins and out of courts, oh, he's not even fighting for custody of me. Kids don't know things like that unless their parents tell them things like that. I feel like if you're going to have these conversations with your daughter that in my opinion are adult conversations that you see are clearly causing her to have a different perspective with her own life, such as looking down on marriage and not wanting to be married and things like that, I definitely feel like she should push her daughter into therapy. It was just a little, like, it's good to be open, but that was a little bit too open. Like, she needs to have that child in therapy if you're going to just be unleashing everything that happens in court and talking about your feelings. And she said it. Well, she saw me crying and then she wrangled up her siblings. That child has been parentified and that needs to be broken. She should be thinking about colleges, having fun. She's 17. She
I
shouldn't be
agree.
worried about what comes with marriage, not wanting to end up like her mama and having to take care of her siblings. Like, no kid should have to do that. She should be having fun.
No, I totally agree with you, and I feel like she should be enjoying life to the best of her abilities, especially having a successful parent. I don't know what her father does, so I can't really speak to that. But we know that Kelly is highly successful, so directly, you should be showing her the entrepreneurship and how she can maybe take over the businesses once you start opening up all of your locations. Britta's milking the perpetual victim. Knock it off, lady. And she really is.
She is.
She really is. Portia is hurt that he cheated on her, but she still loves him. I think she
Yeah.
does too. I think
She
she does
loves
too.
that man, but she not gonna be with him because she
I,
don't know if he'll cheat.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think it's the unknown that scares her. I think it's the unknown of will he ever be faithful, or the unknown of will he show up as a great husband? Because I'm sure he shows up as a great father, but that's a
You
whole different
can't
circumstance.
trust him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different circumstance. So I feel like, but then also I feel like the reason why she makes it hard for him maybe to seek out other women like and have serious relationships is because she knows what it's like to be on that side. And
Hmm.
sometimes when you know what it's like to be on that side, you kind of taint it a little bit. Oh, I don't want her near my child, or she can't be at your
Honestly,
house. Yeah,
Portia,
I can see her doing that. I can't.
after this bullshit with Simon, you may as well get back with Dennis because now we know he ain't shit and we know you ain't shit. So just don't be shit together.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand the big deal. Like, okay, he cheat. So I mean, like, you was doing it
Okay.
before. Like,
And you steal your friends' husbands after going on Halloween parties on camera. So y'all, like, it's cool.
for real. Like, I don't know. Bisley Winners comment says, I agree, but that's a testament to how Kelly is a mom. She knew to get her sisters together and take them out of the situation. Yeah, but sometimes that's not always good. I get what
Yeah.
you're saying, Bisley
She's a
Winners.
great
I
parent.
was that baby. I was that child. And it's really difficult to break away those patterns when you become older and then become an adult, because then it turns into not your siblings but then your mate or then your friends or then somebody else. It always turns into you feeling like you have to wrangle in other people because it's such a pattern in your childhood, and that's hard to break. Like, I'm in therapy now to break that, and it's still hard because I'm still in that mode now with my husband, and it's like I can't catch a break.
The
Like,
baby clearly stated that she views all of these things as a negative by saying
yeah,
she doesn't want to end up that way. So that's just a bigger piece of it. But at the same time, I can understand why Kelly would want to confide in her daughter. It's good to have that bond. It's just too much too soon for a 17-year-old. That's really it.
y'all. Okay, well, let me, because y'all, we gonna be in this conference forever. So we then move on to what was the next? Oh, Drew. So so Drew is packing. Her and her mama, they gotta pack because they got to leave the house because directly it's Ralph's turn to have the kids. And the court order says that when Ralph has the kids in the house that they all share, Drew has to leave the house for the weekend. So Drew and her mama packing, they said pack a bathing suit because we're probably gonna be in a jacuzzi. And when they come down there, she's talking to the kids. The little girl didn't want to get her hair combed and just embarrassing Drew on TV, and then they eat. Um, but I saw Allison. This is a side joke, y'all. I feel like Allison is the type that break the rules of the court papers. Don't she like the type that when they ain't got no sugar, she gonna walk down to the basement and knock on Ralph's door and say, "Ralph, you got some sugar?" Knowing they ain't supposed to be talking to each other.
True. And if Drew try to say nothing, my name ain't involved in no motherfucking hearing.
Right.
I ain't in no court documents. I can do what I want. Allison,
Exactly.
go
I
do
don't know why would I
the
look
way
at
she
her.
tie her dreadlocks, her faux locks. Wherever people tie their faux locks just like that, in the with his older women, they ain't nothing but trouble, just mess.
I'm just saying, she look like the type that don't care about nothing. She go knock on the door, Ralph, you in there? I need some toilet tissue. I'm telling you, she look like that type of person. I'm saying, like, every time I look at her, I'm like, oh, that's probably what the problem is right there. But anyways, let's move on, y'all. So they eating, and Ralph comes in, and he goes, "Hey, it's Father's Day. I'm here." And the kids all greet him, and Drew like, "I'm about to go. I'm about to go. The stuff is already in the car. I'm about to go. We finna leave. But let me talk to you right quick. Let me talk to you right quick." And so the kids dismiss themselves, and they go. Um, and she says, "You forgot to call the exterminator. It's in the court papers that you have to handle the exterminator." He goes, "No, that's not true, Drew. I don't have to call the exterminator. You can call." She goes, "Ralph, I have a lot on my plate. If you can just please call them and we get this done." As it says, I talked to my lawyer. He goes, "What do you have on your plate, Drew? You don't pay no bills in this house. You have nothing to take care of." She goes, "Ralph, that's a lie. Don't do that. Don't do that, Ralph. Don't do that." And so she goes to the garage and opens the door. She goes, "Don't do that, Ralph. Just please, please." And I'm like, fuck is going on here? And so Ralph goes in. Ralph has a confession on. I totally forgot about it. Ralph said Drew doesn't pay any bills in the house. Like, what does she have? Like, you don't have $100 for the exterminator. And I'm just looking at him like, you know, fine. It ain't my husband, so I ain't got to worry about it. But so Drew in the car, with her mama, and she over there talking about see, he's trying to gaslight me. He trying to do this. See, I can't even take it anymore. I just, he makes it so hard. Like we could be in great spaces. He just makes it so hard. And I'm just looking. I said, Drew, start up that Escalade back up and come on before you call the police on you, like she said. Because that's my initial thought. I was like, Drew, start that car up and come on. Like, what did you talking about? So Drew leaves, and that's the end of the scene. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that scene?
Y'all, I was looking at Allison. It took everything in her, the strength of Zeus, to keep her from starting some shit. You know she wanted to go upside
Yeah,
his
she goes,
head
she
with
goes,
a
take care.
frying
Okay,
pan.
hold on real quick. I'll take care of it. Ralph?
She looked like she wanted to be
They
free from
do.
that. I was cracking up at Allison, but nah, let me tell y'all this. I don't understand Ralph. At one point, years ago, like 7 years into my marriage, my husband got on my nerves. I said, I don't know if I could live with you. You got to get the hell on. We separated for about 2 months. Do you know that he paid the bills? I was like, but I could pay the bills. I don't need no man. I'm gonna do my big one. I was in my feelings. That man was paying the bills. He said, I ain't even me talking shit and all. If you a man, you gonna be a man and you gonna step up and you gonna do what a man does. And no, this is not specifically to the heterosexual community, just men in general. Every man that I know, regardless of sexual orientation or any of that, gonna handle theirs and take care of their loved ones. So I'm looking at Ralph and I'm like, are you really upset that she's not paying any bills? You're mad that you have to pay bills in the house that you refuse to leave. You refuse to leave, Ralph. And certain stuff came out in your court. Drew's paying the mortgage. So you living in this house rent free. And you want to stay here. You refuse to leave a house. And you clearly cannot afford to pay the bills if you are complaining about it. Because the exterminator, I mean, in California, the exterminator, if you're doing just like the monthly pest control, that's probably 89, maybe $100. You could probably get you a Groupon, Ralph. Like, you have so many options. So I'm just looking like, why are you upset that you have to pay bills? You're going through a divorce. You're not going to be able to live in the basement forever. And then I'm looking at Drew and I'm like, girl, you equally dumb. You a dingback too. Y'all got me yelling at the TV. I ain't got no voice. I got the flu. Why does none of these people leave the house? It's not fucking worth it. You're not going to live together in the end. You're going to go your separate ways. So why do you insist on living in the same fucking house? And I'm just looking at Allison. We know that's really her mama. It was just a scene of like, you could tell nobody pays their bills or makes the best decisions. And it's a shame because Ralph by himself has a career field that would make him good money, and Drew by herself with her career makes good money. And this is probably why their marriage is a mess because finances is a huge cause of divorce. And it looked like they both bad with money. They bought a house they couldn't afford, and now nobody wants to leave it. And Allison is not allowed to fight. And that's all I saw.
That's all I see as well is two people that in the house that they cannot afford, Toya and Eugene. And then so you sitting up there, you can't, neither one of you can leave the house and get your own little condo or something outside of, you ain't even got to go that far. Y'all live in Duluth. He can go over there to Johns Creek or go to Alpharetta and go get him a nice 3-bedroom little townhouse for literally $3,000 a month. Ralph can afford $3,000 a month, I am sure. So why even go through all of this?
Let me tell you this. I'm on a social worker's income and I can afford 3,000 a month. So I don't understand. I think that there's something going on with finances and credit that they don't want to talk about. But
Oh, I'm sure.
this is weird. I'll be damned if I'm gonna be paying rent anywhere that I got to leave 2 to 3 weekends out the month. If I'm paying rent, I want access 24/7.
Yeah, but I Shana, I agree. That basement is nice. It really, really is. It remind me of Sheree basement, but he would have to get his ass up out of here. One of us got to go. One of us got to go, and I'm sure Drew's name is on that house primarily. So I feel like Ralph should be the one to go. He should be the one to go anyway because he's the man.
Just
So
let him take all the furniture in the basement, Drew.
yeah, just
Because
let
you
him
know
take.
that's all he wants.
Yeah, just let him take the furniture. Ralph, go get you a condo. Stop being cheap and just get you an apartment. Like, what's wrong with an apartment? Like, I get it. It's not the same as the house, but still, like, just I would want my peace. Is what I'm saying. Like, I would want my peace to where if I was Drew, I probably would leave and let him figure it out and tell the courts sign over that mortgage to him since he wants the house so bad, and let's see how long he up in there. So
Yep.
yeah, that's how I would do it. But that's just me personally because I like my peace. I don't like to be in, all this vitriol and all this, fundamentals if I don't have to be. That's
You
just
know,
me.
Ralph, or you could just, save us the time. We all looking at you like you ain't shit anyway because you don't want to pay bills. Separate from that, I think that you unemployed. Don't be too strong. See, in California, it's called the Employment Development Department.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called in Georgia, but don't be too proud, Ralph, to file for some unemployment so that the judge would just say he's broke, give him alimony, and leave. Like, because we know you ain't got no funds. I feel like Ralph has not worked since coming on this show.
Mm, that's
You
crazy.
could tell he's leaned into the fame and was very excited to be on the camera. And I feel like he thought that it would be so much more, and it didn't really go in his favor because she wound up and wanted to divorce. But I don't feel like he's worked much or done much outside of this since
Probably
being
not.
on the show. Because
Probably not.
why? Just file for unemployment, Ralph. It's okay.
For real. But anyways, we move on. So Shamia has her studio session. She's working with RL, the R&B legend. He was in Next. He, has sings one of my favorite songs with Deborah Cox. We Can't Be For. Oh, I love that song. But anyway, she's working with RL. She said that she's been friends with him and his wife Lena. Y'all remember Lena was on the show. She was very quiet, another Dr. Minnie Mouse point 2.0, but she was on the show. And I remember, yeah, her being Candy's friend. So she has Angela come to the studio and, they're talking about, her work with RL and how huge that is. And then Angela pretty much says, I want to apologize to you because I feel like the moment of you sharing your song with us, Portia kind of overshadowed that and was making all that noise and talking above your song, trying to confirm whether or not that was you. And Shamia said, yeah, I didn't really like that. But, when I talked about it with her later, she then said that, she really didn't know it was me and she apologized. And we kind of just let it go. And I said, no, Shamia, you let that shit go way too quick. I'm sorry, you did. You let that shit go way too quick because there's no way in hell I'm playing the song and you interrupting by talking all loud and over the shit just because you think it's somebody else. No, I would have felt disrespected and I probably would have cussed her ass out. But that's just me. Drew comes in late, as always. Drew be late this season. Y'all ever notice that? Drew show up to everybody shit late. This is Robin Dixon. Why are you at showing up to people shit late, Drew? Wasting these camera people's time. They waiting on you.
I'ma just assume because her album was really good, I'm still slapping it. I'ma just assume that she was doing something related to the music because that was a great album. I keep listening
I've
to it.
heard one or two songs. I haven't had the time to really sit and listen. Oh, y'all been so busy. I haven't had time to sit and listen to. I've heard one or two songs, and I'm gonna go back and re-listen to
It
everything.
was good. It was really good. I keep listening to it. I'm not gonna lie. Her and Shamia, I got them both on repeat.
Okay, all right. Look at that. Go ahead, Shamia and Drew. I see you. So Drew comes in, and she was just saying, kind of throwing some, jokes aside, saying that the way the contracts are set up for her album, Pilar's gonna have a great college fund, and Shamia let her know that that's already been taken care of. I'm like, yeah, because she got a millionaire daddy. Like, why would that not be taken care of, Drew? Come on now. She goes, oh, well, she can go ahead and get some snacks then. And I said, Drew, that's why Portia be on your ass. Now I was riding with you because I feel like you ain't did nothing wrong. And I'm catching hell for that shit too. Because some people in these comments think that I'm being insensitive because I feel like Drew don't owe Portia shit. But Drew, you can't be doing that kind of shade now. I can't defend that. Because that was fucked up for you to even say that. And even Shamia's like, Drew, like, why you gotta be shady? Like, that's come on. So when Portia get on your ass at this reunion for you saying that shit, or when she jump on Twitter or her YouTube channel, because I know Portia got a YouTube channel now. Don't get to crying, Drew. Don't get to say I didn't do nothing. Don't get to doing that, Drew, because I'm telling you, it was wrong as hell. But that was pretty much the scene. They pretty much the scene of what they were talking about. Is there anything you're gonna add to that, Mrs. Best, before we move on?
No, Drew is equally but Portia and Drew to me are wrong. Because Drew broke girl code to a certain extent, but I'm just annoyed with this episode. I don't have much to add on much. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I don't either. I just got to talk about it because it's in my notes. Because I'm telling you, they broke up 150 scenes and put it into one. They really did. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is Britt passed her mama over, and she said that in this whole situation with Kenya, her sisters have called and made sure that she was okay. And she said that this situation actually has brought her and her sisters kind of closer together. And she just can't believe once again that someone would do this to her, and she feels embarrassed because I feel like her mama didn't know about half this shit that she was doing. So now that it's out in the open, and the mama's all like, that's a shame that grown ass lady would do this. She was Miss USA. She's supposed to be encouraging these young ladies instead of doing all that at her event and everything. And I'm like, I can't disagree with that, mama. She should have been doing that. But at the same time, your daughter started it. So
Don't start none, won't be none.
okay, I can't. Like I
Old
said, I'm not
school.
100%. Y'all can get mad at me all you want. I'm not 100% mad at Kenya. Do I think it was bad? Yes. Do I think she shouldn't have done it at her event? Yes. But for retaliating purposes, the way Britt was going off talking about she got guns and pistols and she don't know who she messing with and da.
Don't
I'm
talk
like,
like you a gangster. Like
right.
me and James went to a high school that was next to Oakland, California,
Yeah.
right? A lot of them kids, this high school was in Hayward. A lot of them kids claim to be from Oakland. I transferred to that high school late and after high school. So I'm coming from Oakland. I said, all these people say they from somewhere I ain't never seen them from. Just because they want to be fake gangster, fake hood. I started inviting some of them over to my house in Oakland. Some of them was scared, calling people to come pick them up because they was too scared to walk to the bus stop. Britt gives me that. You know what I'm talking about, James? Like she gives me that. Like just because you dated Rick Ross and some other rappers and are in the scene doesn't mean that you have to proclaim to be like with the shit, a gangster, hard. Like that's a weird thing. If you a girl that don't have guns, and everyone's like, oh, she didn't have guns. But if you somebody who don't play with guns and don't have guns, right? Then why you just gonna say and threaten guns to somebody? Like that's weird. So I feel
It
like
is
there's a
weird.
lack of accountability because what Kenya did was so bad, and people automatically, especially in today's time, are just like, "Oh my God, revenge porn! She shared explicit this. That's so bad." But it takes away from the fact, like, why are you trying to play like you so hard, Miss Britt? And then when somebody finally does something to you, because she got a big ass mouth and be in people's face and talking to people like she want a problem, then she get a problem and now she in tears. And it's like, yes, what Kenya did was fucked up, but at the same time, it's like, Britt, take some type of accountability. She ain't even cried to say she wish she left that girl alone. She's just milking it. I just want to rip out her extensions. She stresses me out, James.
No, what stressed me out was that damn nasally talk that she was doing this entire episode. And apparently, I was watching a couple other YouTubers. They're making fun of that voice. So apparently, this is a voice that she has all the time. I missed it, y'all. I did. I missed it because I did not know her voice was that nasally. I couldn't understand what she was saying half the time because I was like, well, damn. I'm like, girl, get you some Claritin or something. And some people were like saying, no, that's how she talking. I said, oh, shit. I said, baby, that ain't it. You do something with that nasal talk because that ain't it. But moving on from there. So this next scene, and y'all, because I'm about to get mad at Shamia, and I didn't think I had it in me because y'all know how I feel about Shamia. Y'all know I love me some Shamia. Her and Portia go out, and they go play at this indoor miniature golf place. And when they're talking, Shamia says, I do feel a way about Portia and her in this music thing still, but right now isn't the time or place. I'm a people pleaser and I don't want her to be mad at me. And some shit she was in her confessional. And I said, Shamia, let me explain something to you. When you gonna stop letting this lady play in your face? When is that scene coming where you confront her about playing in your face? I'm waiting on it. Because I'm tired of you missing your opportunities to confront her about shit you need to confront her about. Because I honestly, and I tell y'all all the time, Portia is one of them friends I could not have.
She gonna steal your moment, dim your light, and get mad at you when you succeed.
Right.
And
For
that's
you to have
horrible.
all this allegiance and all of this, uh, yeah, I can't with Shamia and this with this Portia shit. Like I need to see them duke it out or something. I need Shamia to come back and say, you know what? Fuck you, everything. I don't care no more. We ain't friends no more. I'm done with you. I need her to do that. Because I feel like it's her just due. Because Portia has been, I'm telling you, chipping away at her little by little. And I feel like there's only gonna be so many times you're gonna take that before you break. I'm just saying. But they play out, and she's asking her question after question, and they're just basically talking about the kids, Shamia and her how the growing of the family is going, and she's talking about her embryos. She asked Portia, "How's her embryo?" Or is that still a cease and desist? So apparently Simon keeps sending cease and desists. He sends one every day, and they're just laughing. And it was a good little, cute little scene. I just didn't like that beginning part. This is best. How did you feel about that scene?
Um, you have people have to understand that it's okay to grow and evolve and move on to different, friend groups. It's okay to become close with different people. Um, I get that Shamia says she's a people pleaser, but only thing Portia could ask about, how y'all doing? That's about it. Like, I don't think that they have a friendship. I think at this point they may say that and feel that way, but I don't see like a friendship. I didn't care for the scene. It felt extra long and drawn out. Portia has proven me right in failing coming back this season. I'm just not interested. I wish that Shamia would see. I think she does see her light, but I wish that she would be willing to see her light and be able to like move on from this toxic ass friendship and her toxic ass mama. Um, I'm over it. It's kind of hard to watch. Like Shamia, woman up. That ain't your friend.
I agree. So the next last scene we have, because I think this is the final scene. I ain't talking about shit else. The last thing we have is Kelly's little opening dinner or little luncheon out. She has outdoors. It was very beautiful. And one thing about Kelly, she know how to show up with food and she know how to show up with an event. This was a beautiful space. Um, she shows up first, and Portia calls and says that she's not going to be able to make it because Pilar is sick and she has gotten Portia sick. And she did sound sick. I will give her that because I thought Portia was bullshitting. But no, she did sound sick over the phone, so it's fine. So the ladies show up, and when Shamia and Angela show up, and I've noticed that Shamia and Angela have been in scenes together a lot. I guess that little beef didn't really matter at all because they acted like that shit never happened and that they didn't get into it at the beginning of the season. But I digress because that's Shamia is a people pleaser. She likes to forgive people, so we're gonna let her be. So Kelly says that Angela's gonna sit next to Britt and Shamia's gonna sit next to Kenya. And Shamia was looking like, Kenya name on there? What? Kenya gonna be your what? And that shit was funny as hell. I'm sorry. Kelly got them because they really thought Kenya was coming. But Kenya's not gonna show. The seat's empty because it was Portia's seat. So the seat is empty. So Drew shows up. She wasn't late this time. Britt was late. But Drew shows up, and then once Drew gets there, they start talking about the whole situation of how they feel about what Kenya did, and apparently everyone at the table has talked to Kenya, but Britt does not notice yet. So when Britt shows up there, Kelly pretty much tells them, this is our chance to see how you're doing, how you feeling, and everything, because everyone has talked to Kenya, and Britt was like, everyone's talked to Kenya. What? Everyone's talking to Kenya. Why would y'all talk to Kenya? Why talk to Kenya? And I'm looking at her like, okay, simmer down. Half of them have been friends with her and have known her a lot longer than they have known you. So, of course, their allegiance and loyalty will be to her before it is to you. We don't understand that? Okay. Okay.
Why is she so triggered that they're talking to, like, oh, this girl irks my soul. She make my teeth itch.
Right. Because I don't understand why that would be an issue. Of course, they're going to talk to Kenya. So Britt is breaking down. She goes, y'all don't understand what this did to me. Like, I have everything. I'm losing everything. My license is in question. And Angela looked at her and was like, under what grounds? Why would your license be in question? And she was like, are you serious right now, Angela? Are you serious right now? You don't know what's going on? You don't know how to read the room? And I said, Angela better than me. Because first of all, who the fuck are you talking to? And then second of all, yes, under what grounds is your license in jeopardy? What did you do to make your license in jeopardy? And this is where Angela says, you know what? Let me get away from it. Let me get off from this table because your energy, I can't do this. I cannot do this. And she also says in her confessional that she's a licensed mortgage broker. She knows that there has to be grounds in order for you to lose your license, which we all know this. So Britt coming in here with that aggressive ass energy is crazy as hell to me. And so Angela got up from the table and walked on the other side because Angela, like, one thing I'm gonna give about Angela. Angela looked like she can fight. Angela looked like the type she had to beat people asses. Maybe not over so much Charles, but probably over other men. Angela she looked like that type. Mrs. Best, do you think she's like that type?
Angela looked at her. She gave her the Mary Cosby. Who was this little girl talking to?
Right.
Look, that's exactly what she gave her. I'm not gonna lie. This scene made me like Angela a little bit. Like it not like her, but it opened the door. Because I don't like how she moved with her husband. But this scene proved that okay, maybe Angela can make it as a housewife. She just has to, be more honest and stuff with her own stuff. But she can hold her own because she looked at that little girl like what? Because Britt does do too much. She said it. You like to throw rocks and hide your hands. She does it. She's milking it. And I love that Angela called it. Thank you, Angela.
Yes, absolutely. So Shamia was like, I will take the rounds. Britt, why is your license in jeopardy? And Britt explains once again, it's because of the whole Kenya situation and what she has dug up and what she has did. So now it's coming across like this. Whatever Kenya found is something that she was trying to keep hidden. I don't think it was the rated X stuff. I really think it was whatever Kenya found that she probably is under investigation. I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't know and I don't really care. But it was pretty much this scene was them like trying to get on one accord to let them know they support Brit. But to me, I felt like for me, I'm on Angela's side. Like her shit ain't making no sense. And She is way too defensive over all of this. The fact that she was just jumping so bad at Angela, it was like Angela didn't deserve that. All she did was question because she has a license as well. She just wants to know what grounds would they have to take it away from you if it was over this King situation, which I don't feel. And as I said at the beginning of this video, I do not feel that her license being in jeopardy was caused by Kenya. I feel like this was something that was probably already in the crossfires or was becoming in the crossfires, and this didn't have nothing to do with it. That's my opinion. Everyone's entitled to have their own opinion. I'm not going to talk about the whole Shamia, Portia, Drew shit that they talked about that tape. That shit is tired. I don't really care anymore. I've already addressed that. Is there anything else you would like to address that they talked about in the scene Mrs. Best?
No, this episode did not need to be that long. That's really my only final thought. Britt is being exposed as a liar by trying to milk a situation that if she just would have stayed silent and let what happened be and tried to move on from it, she probably wouldn't be looking like as much of a liar. But I don't think that they're going to have much of a season. This was boring. I don't know where they go from here. I know Phaedra's supposed to come in, but someone coming in so late with all that's happened already, I don't think it. I
I
think
just
the
want to know
season is done.
what could Phaedra possibly bring?
She's not going to bring anything. I think we got the best episodes that we'll get of this season. I don't think they have anything else to share or show because we know that the Portia and Simon thing goes nowhere because he's in custody of ICE. Um, with the exception of that, Shamia has a good life, but she doesn't have drama. Angela won't talk to us about Charles. Kelly's walking around with the bodyguard who's called something little. Like they don't have much of a show. They really should have took their time with the cast. And Cynthia's wig stressed me out. So I don't know where they go from here, but best of luck to you, friend, for recapping.
It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be, but it's also not as entertaining as it should be. So I feel like for me, I'm okay with it for where it is right now. The only thing I want or wish that they would have did was I wish if they were going to get rid of Kenya, then they should have got rid of Brit too. That's
Yeah,
the
because
only.
she's just
Oh, you're on
like,
mute.
down to how I know it. I'm on my phone. Somebody had called me. I apologize. She's just not likable. Like if you take away the whole situation with Kenya, Britt just comes off as disingenuous from her mannerisms to the plastic in her face to how she even speaks. We're just not going to get to know the real her. And I think I had watched something on YouTube, a little YouTube documentary. I feel like Housewives as a franchise across all of the cities has kind of seen the glory days. Unless they still have some of the OG cast members left, I don't think that we're going to get much authenticity. I think Bravo should start looking into other ideas because whoever they cast is just going to be doing what they have seen other housewives do or try to live up to what they think the norm is for reality TV. Nothing's authentic, and that's what's wrong with the show, in my opinion.
I agree with that, actually. Yeah, nothing is authentic, nothing has been authentic, and I'm just like, I need a new cast. I feel like if y'all gonna do Real Housewives of Atlanta, get a new cast, or you know what, start looking at other cities. Just go ahead and graduate this franchise and just do new cities. Like if y'all want to come to Phoenix, Bravo, I got you. I got
That's why
so
Salt Lake City worked because nobody thought that it was a city interesting enough for housewives.
well, they did do a pilot for Scottsdale. They did do a pilot for Scottsdale. The problem was the ages were like very scarce. Like you had some 30-year-olds with some 60-year-olds, and it was like,
Oh no.
yeah. And then you had the sheriff's wife on there with Amar Stoudemire's wife. And it was kind of like, that is way too different. Like, I need socialites only. And this was right around the time where Housewives was still kind of new. So it was one of those. The only other show that they filmed here at that time was Baseball Wives. That was the only other show they had filmed here that was like recurring. So they weren't getting consent in a lot of different places to film in Scottsdale. So when Baseball Wives came, that's when they started to get that. So that's why I'm like, y'all need to try Phoenix again and see if y'all can, really realm in and do younger crowds. Don't do middle age, do younger crowds because I think the younger crowds have a little bit more pizzazz. versus you seeing somebody in their 50s and 60s trying to act a fool. It's just not, we expect that from somebody in their 30s and 40s. We do, you know. But yeah, other than that, though, we'll see how this goes, y'all. I'm trying to keep up with it. I don't have Married to Medicine anymore. That show is going to get replaced, though, with. I don't have another show I'm picking up. I could have sworn I'm picking up something else. I have Never Ever Miss. I have Somebody's Son. I mean, you have Never Ever Miss. I have Love and Marriage Detroit. I thought I was picking up something else. I'll put it in my community board if I know what show I'm talking about. But yes, I don't have a second live, y'all. I'm so sorry for those who were looking forward to anything else. But if y'all have some show suggestions, go ahead and send them to me. You might get the no as always. But I might be interested in some of these shows. We'll see. But thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here. Thank you, everybody in the chat, everybody who is watching the playback. If you are not subscribed to me, please subscribe to my channel. It is free. I do not ask for anything in return. I just try to get that algorithm going so people can see my channel, see our work. We are on this every week. I love you guys. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys on my next recap. Bye-bye now.